Welcome once again. My name's John Clark, and we're going to be continuing. I think this is our 7th session with a guest panel. Joining me, we have Johan Egg and Jonathan Abon. So we've almost got the Johns here. We were discussing that out the back. And really what we're going to be talking about is this sort of new reality that as we look at connected vehicles, the data that's produced by those, how that can be applied in, for instance, driver safety scenarios. So with a topic focused on knowing when wheels grip or slip, and using some of the platform technologies, combining data from multiple different surfaces to support that. So listen, gentlemen, thank you very much. Johan, talk to me a little bit about where you've come from. You're an organization that's started in one industry and recognized the opportunities that data provides in shifting really into entirely new industries and taking advantage of data that's been inherent in your business for a while, but allows you to transition to an entirely different company.
Yeah. So we come from a background of doing tire pressure monitoring. So really taking advantage of the already existing sensors of a vehicle and putting them into new use. So the first product that we had was tire pressure monitoring, really saying if your tire runs out of air. But by doing small adaptations, we could use the same sort of algorithms to also say a lot of things about the road surface. And road surface conditions, together with location data, that's something really powerful. So that's why we started working on our product, road surface information, which can let you know what the friction situation is like, what the road roughness situation is like, and if you have potholes or speed bumps, without adding any sensors, just using the already existing technology in vehicles.
And a vast amount of data.
And a vast amount of data, yeah.
Yes. So talk to me a little bit about, where the challenges were in that evolution. Tire sensors are one piece of data. I've got to imagine that there's a lot of other data that's got to go into the sort of algorithms to calculate these moments of grip and slip.
Absolutely. The first big challenge is that we need to have access to all parts of the car. I mean, any data that's connected to the CAN bus, we need access. And the challenge is how can we get access from the car manufacturers to all this data that's of value to them as well. That means we have to do something really good and show that we can improve their vehicles and create a lot more value than they can themselves.
Fantastic. And Jonathan, you've led our platform strategy for a number of years now, introducing it. NIRA was one of our first customers. Talk to me a little bit about the journey that you had with NIRA in sort of understanding the availability of their data, what it was that they were sort of needing in a platform to support that, and what sort of incremental value you felt that you could provide and focus on.
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, John, thanks to NIRA, they're one of our early adopter customers. So one of the biggest values is that collaborating with a very innovative company, right? The products and the services and the IP that they're developing combined with a platform beyond the technology, right? All the things that we co-created, so to speak, the features and functionality of the platform. But beyond that, it's really extending the ecosystem so that NIRA can reach other customers, other industries, and get more value from their intellectual property, their road roughness and friction services, products they develop, running it on the platform, making the data available, perhaps not just for automotive industries, but also for other industries. That technical and commercial combination is really one of the values that we believe we're bringing to them, and obviously with them being on the platform, the rest of the participants are benefiting from it.
Absolutely, and listen, we've spent time before, so talk to the audience a little bit about the opportunities that this data, when sort of combined with other data in the platform, developing a set of services. Talk to me about some of those use cases that you support across different industries, because some of them are fascinating.
Yeah. So long term, our goal is to be able to enable autonomous vehicles in winter conditions, because everyone today is just focusing on getting autonomous vehicles working in perfect conditions. But we have a long-term goal to make it possible for autonomous vehicles to also be able to drive in, terrible conditions. And that's where we want to come in. But that's far ahead in the future. So already today, we can use the data to create warning systems. You as a driver could get a warning before you enter into a dangerous situation, before you enter into a slippery area. Someone has had to collect that data, but it's a collaboration between drivers. So the first driver, sure, has to collect information about the road surface, saying that it's slippery, but then the following drivers can know this and slow down well ahead before a dangerous situation occurs. So that's one part. The other part is the focus we have on road maintenance companies. So the data that we collect is fed to road contractors and road authorities to improve their winter maintenance. They could, one, get alerts saying that this is a problematic area. We have to send our salting trucks to that area. The other part is the statistical analysis we do for road maintenance companies. What areas are problematic and what have been done in that area, and how can we change the actions we do to improve the roads. Using statistical analysis such as the RSI software makes it possible for them to really say what works and what does not work.
So, listen, you live in harsh environments, just for the audience's benefit, Sweden, okay? So when we're talking sort of wintry conditions, we're talking extreme winter conditions. Obviously there's, that's sort of a key area of opportunity. But talk to me a little bit about where this can go by taking potentially the same or different data, combining it with more data in the HERE platform. What other kinds of safety services? We've got a big sort of focus here, and we certainly have a large number of automotive customers where safety is top of mind. Where does this opportunity go in terms of, taking a platform, bringing data, combining data?
Yeah. That's one of the strengths with the HERE platform. Getting access to all the other partners in the ecosystem. For instance, we cooperate with weather companies, which is also in the ecosystem. So whereas we collect information about the now, and the weather companies, they can say something about the future.
Yep.
And if you combine that, for instance, in a navigation system, then you could estimate the best route, even if it's a long route, saying that you should go from point A to point B, avoid dangerous situations, but also avoid uprising dangerous situations, which our software doesn't know about, but the weather company's software understands. So by combining that, you would create a much safer driving experience already today. And when we talk about next generation cars with more ADAS functions, we need this in order to prepare the ADAS functions for handling dangerous situations, because they don't have the same, they can't build the same experience. With AI maybe, but it's really difficult to say, based on what I see in front of the car, how will I behave as a driver, and how would an autonomous system behave? That's really a challenge where we can help out a lot together with the other partners of the ecosystem.
Exactly. And Jonathan, talk to me a little bit about the opportunities, in building a platform that organizations can bring their data to, combine their data in some of these sort of, domains. What kind of domains, driver safety, clearly a key opportunity. Where else, where do you see opportunities for providers like NIRA bringing their data?
Actually, what Jan just brought up, this very microscopic look at weather data based on the data they're able to extract from the sources they gather from, being able to use that data, understand the patterns, let's say historical weather patterns, that's very valuable to the transport and logistics company, to fleet companies, to retailers who want to be able to goods that may perish along the way. If a route that seems to be the shortest path, but weather is not good historically at a given place and time, they can perhaps reroute that truck elsewhere that can get to point A to point B much faster than a just traditional, the closest path. That information combined with the algorithms that NIRA is able to provide and make that available to transport, logistics, and other industries beyond automotive, to me that's the cross-industry 1 + 1 = 3 functionality of a platform.
I even see it a little bit further too, because I totally get that point, and it causes me to think about, tomorrow we've got the Global Weather Corporation. So you talked about using their data to inform, the hazard warnings associated with slippery roads. But I also see the reverse of that, where the road friction data that you're experiencing can validate or invalidate,
Sure.
give higher levels of probability to their predictions. So, really what we have here is an ecosystem, but the opportunity for symbiotic relationships.
That's correct.
To coexist here, and that's extraordinarily powerful. So,
Actually, John, one thing I would say is that if let's say our CEO and Johan's CEO tells all of us in the room here, get together 1 week, come up with all the use cases you can think of, it won't be enough by the power of the innovation that happens outside of these four walls. So this platform, this ecosystem effect, is really, that's what we're set out to do. That's what the Hero platform is for, and that's what partners like NIRA Dynamics can really expand the reach and the creativity of people outside of these four walls.
Absolutely agree. Great point. Then, what does it take to be a great platform and to have a great ecosystem partner? What is intrinsically needed in the relationship from both parties, from your perspective?
I would say the one important part is the willingness to cooperate.
Okay.
And the willingness to network. If we were to just provide our data and not do more than that, then I'm sure that the partnerships wouldn't happen. You really need the networking that has to work, and it just doesn't happen by itself. So I think it's we as partners we have to be active in terms of making that happen together with together with the other partners. Here has a lot of experience with working with the map, whereas we don't. So we need here to just help us out in that sense.
We're a sensor to your algorithms.
Yeah, something like that.
In essence. So, listen, I know that we talked a lot about sort of hazardous conditions up in Sweden and the sort of northern hemisphere. But talk to me about the plans that you've got to roll this out sort of across Europe.
Yeah.
And the benefit that this brings to not just northern climates, but to any environment.
Yeah. So during the last few years, we've been doing it on select markets in select cities where we have a fleet of vehicles collecting data, and we're using that data. Since 2019, we've been working in the Netherlands, completely covering that country. But mid-2020, we will start rolling out over Europe, meaning we will have full coverage of Europe for next winter, for both road friction and road roughness. So then we can start, for instance, selling that data towards OEMs building simple ADAS functions to begin with, like improving adaptive cruise control based on the road surface, or local hazard warnings, like I mentioned. And for the parts where we don't have the perfect coverage yet, still road maintenance companies can use this, starting 2020 across Europe.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Massive expansion there. So, For those that are looking for more information, there's probably a couple of areas to explore. One of them, as we said a little earlier, the conversation tomorrow with the Global Weather Corporation, where we're going to build on some of the opportunities, an announcement that was made focused on weather at a road segment level. I think would be very complementary to this session. We also have the platform that we've been talking about that's been used by NIRA. And I think over in the back over here we have the safety and the navigation that you mentioned in terms of some of those ADAS opportunities and also the IVI. So certainly some areas to explore. Absolutely a new reality as we look at these connected vehicles delivering hazard warnings, reducing the amount of salt that's deployed and helping the environment in those regards. And gentlemen, I really thank you for your time. So,
and I want to thank NIRA Dynamics and Jan for such a great partner, collaborative effort with this platform as we grow together. Yeah. Thank you, and looking forward to successes on both sides.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jan.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.